Life is too short to carry the weight of people who no longer serve your growth. Holding on to relationships, opinions, or situations that drain your energy keeps you stuck, distracted, and disconnected from your own potential. Focusing on yourself means learning the art of letting go, not in anger, not in regret, but in clarity and self-respect. When you release what no longer serves you, you reclaim your energy, your focus, and your power to create the life you deserve. Letting go is not about giving up, it's about prioritizing your well-being. Too often we cling to relationships or circumstances out of fear. Fear of being alone, fear of missing out, or fear of disappointing others. But this fear keeps you tethered to people and patterns that block your growth. When you focus on yourself, you start to see that the energy you spend on others' expectations or negativity could be far better invested in your own development. Letting go clears the path for growth, self-discovery, and true fulfillment. Your energy is finite. Every interaction, every thought, and every commitment takes a piece of it. When you spend your energy trying to fix, explain, or maintain connections that are no longer aligned with your life, you are draining yourself unnecessarily. By letting go, you protect your energy and direct it toward the things that truly matter, your goals, your mindset, your health, and your personal growth. Focus becomes sharper, clarity becomes stronger, and momentum builds when you stop carrying the weight of others' expectations or negativity. Letting go also strengthens your self-respect and self-worth. It's a declaration that your energy is valuable, your time is precious, and your growth matters. People who are meant to be in your life will support, inspire, and elevate you. Those who drain you or hold you back are not reflections of your value. They are reflections of their own limitations. When you release what no longer serves you, you create space for relationships, opportunities, and experiences that align with your goals and your highest potential. Letting go requires courage. It's not easy to release attachments, confront uncomfortable truths, or set boundaries that may upset others. But every time you choose yourself over the need to please or the fear of loss, you reinforce your inner strength. You learn that your life, your growth, and your happiness are worth prioritizing above all else. This courage creates momentum, clarity, and resilience, allowing you to move forward without being weighed down by what you cannot control. Focusing on yourself and letting others go is about creating a life that is intentional, purposeful, and aligned with your highest potential. It's about understanding that your energy is your most valuable resource and that your growth depends on how wisely you invest it. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you reclaim your focus, amplify your energy, and open the door to a life filled with clarity, strength, and possibilities. Your energy is your most valuable resource, yet it is often the most overlooked. Every thought, emotion, action, and interaction requires energy, and the way you allocate it directly shapes your life. Holding on to people, situations, or negativity that no longer serve you consumes more energy than most realize. When you invest energy in things that drain you, you leave less for personal growth, meaningful goals, and experiences that truly matter. Letting go is not about rejection or hostility. It is about prioritizing your energy, protecting it, and directing it toward what enhances your life. Recognizing this principle is a powerful step toward freedom, focus, and personal empowerment. Energy is finite, and every interaction demands a portion of it. Some relationships, responsibilities, or attachments can be subtle drains. Over time, they chip away at your mental clarity, emotional resilience, and motivation. People who are critical, manipulative, or overly dependent, situations that create constant stress, and environments that are toxic or chaotic all pull energy away from you. By holding on to these drains, you may feel obligated or guilty, but the hidden cost is your ability to focus on your own priorities. Learning to let go is an act of self-preservation. It ensures that your energy is being spent intentionally rather than wasted on maintaining something that does not serve your growth. Letting go also creates a mental and emotional reset. When you release attachments, You stop carrying unnecessary burdens. This allows your mind to focus on solutions, opportunities, and meaningful actions instead of being trapped in repetitive patterns of frustration, resentment, or worry. Your energy, once scattered across unproductive concerns, becomes concentrated and purposeful. Focused energy accelerates progress, builds momentum, and produces results that are tangible and fulfilling, without the constant drain of maintaining unaligned relationships or situations. You gain clarity and the capacity to invest in what truly matters. It is important to understand that letting go does not require negativity or confrontation. It can be done quietly, with compassion, and with clear intent. It is an internal decision that may or may not involve external communication, depending on the circumstances. The key is recognizing that your energy is valuable and choosing not to expend it on situations or people that diminish your power is not selfish. It is strategic. You are not rejecting the person or situation as a human being. You are prioritizing your growth and well-being. This distinction is critical because it frames letting go as a positive, empowering action rather than an act of avoidance or hostility. Letting go strengthens your self-awareness and self-respect. Every time you decide to protect your energy, you reinforce the message to yourself that your time, focus, and emotional resources are important. You learn to recognize patterns that drain you and to act proactively rather than reactively. This practice builds discipline, resilience, and clarity, enabling you to navigate life with confidence and purpose. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you reclaim the energy that is rightfully yours, creating space for personal growth, meaningful relationships, and opportunities that align with your highest potential. Protecting your energy through letting go is a cornerstone of intentional living. It allows you to focus, thrive, and invest in the areas of life that matter most, turning your energy into the driving force for progress, fulfillment, and self-empowerment. Prioritizing yourself without guilt is one of the most important yet challenging practices in personal growth. Many people mistakenly believe that focusing on their own needs, goals, or well-being is selfish. Society, family, and even friends often reinforce the idea that putting others first is a virtue, while prioritizing yourself is selfish or arrogant. This mindset leads to overcommitment, emotional exhaustion, and a lack of progress toward your own goals. However, focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is essential. Your energy, attention, and time are finite resources, and where you choose to invest them determines the quality of your life, your personal growth, and your ability to contribute meaningfully to the world. When you prioritize yourself, you are making a conscious decision to invest in what truly matters. This may involve dedicating time to your mental health, pursuing meaningful goals, cultivating skills, or building habits that support your long-term vision. It can also mean saying no to distractions, toxic relationships, or unnecessary obligations that drain your energy. Choosing yourself first ensures that your efforts are focused on activities that align with your values and ambitions. This is not an act of selfishness, but of strategic empowerment. It allows you to operate from a position of strength, clarity, and purpose. Guilt often arises when you shift focus from others to yourself. You may feel responsible for people's reactions, expectations, or needs, even when those demands compromise your well-being or growth. Recognizing that your primary responsibility is to yourself is critical. You cannot give your best to others if you are running on empty, constantly distracted, or emotionally depleted. Prioritizing yourself ensures that you have the mental, emotional, and physical resources to contribute authentically and effectively to the world around you. In essence, by caring for yourself first, you create the foundation from which you can genuinely support, inspire, and uplift others. Prioritizing yourself also strengthens your boundaries and self-respect. When you are clear about your goals and values, you naturally begin to set limits on what you accept from others. This clarity reduces overcommitment and the tendency to overextend yourself in ways that are unproductive or draining. By making intentional choices about how you allocate your energy, you reinforce the idea that your time and focus are valuable. This practice cultivates confidence and discipline, enabling you to navigate challenges without being derailed by guilt, societal pressure, or fear of judgment. Prioritizing yourself without guilt amplifies growth and productivity. When your energy is concentrated on meaningful pursuits rather than being scattered across obligations that do not serve you, your focus sharpens and results follow. Your actions become intentional, aligned with your goals, and capable of producing significant impact. The clarity and momentum you gain from prioritizing yourself allow you to move forward with confidence, resilience, and purpose, free from distractions that previously limited your potential. Focusing on yourself without guilt is an act of empowerment. It allows you to protect your energy, clarify your priorities, and align your actions with your highest potential. By embracing this mindset, you ensure that your personal growth, well-being, and life trajectory remain your top priority, creating the foundation for a fulfilling, productive, and intentional life. Releasing fear and resistance is one of the most powerful steps you can take when focusing on yourself and letting go of what no longer serves you. Fear often manifests as a barrier that keeps you attached to people, situations, or patterns that drain your energy and hinder your growth. It can take the form of fear of being alone, fear of rejection, fear of disappointing others, or fear of uncertainty. Resistance, on the other hand, is the inner pushback against change, a subconscious reluctance to release what is familiar, even when it no longer benefits you. Together, fear and resistance create invisible chains that hold you in place, limiting your progress and preventing you from stepping fully into your potential. Understanding and addressing these forces is crucial for personal empowerment and growth. Fear is a natural response, and it is not inherently negative. It serves as a protective mechanism, signaling that change involves risk or discomfort. However, when fear is unexamined, it becomes a prison. You may cling to unhealthy relationships, toxic dynamics, or unproductive patterns simply because it feels safer than stepping into the unknown. This safety is often illusory, as holding on consumes energy, creates stress, and limits your ability to grow. Letting go requires courage, the courage to acknowledge your fear, to understand its source, and to act in spite of it. It is about choosing progress over comfort, clarity over uncertainty, and personal growth over stagnation. Resistance often appears as rationalization, procrastination, or avoidance. You may tell yourself that releasing someone or something will hurt too much, or that you are responsible for fixing situations that are beyond your control. Resistance can also manifest as internal dialogue that convinces you to stay in familiar patterns, even when they no longer serve your life or goals. Overcoming this resistance requires awareness and deliberate action. By recognizing resistance as a natural part of the process, you can approach it with patience and determination, allowing yourself to move forward with intention rather than being held back by habit or fear. Letting go in the face of fear and resistance strengthens yourself, confidence, and resilience. Each act of release reinforces the message that your energy and well-being are valuable. You learn that stepping away from what no longer serves you does not diminish your worth. It enhances it. Fear and resistance lose their power as you practice conscious decision making, assert boundaries, and prioritize your own growth. This practice builds mental clarity, emotional strength, and the courage to face future challenges without hesitation. Releasing fear and resistance creates space for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your highest potential. When you are no longer tethered to what holds you back, your energy becomes free to focus on meaningful goals and personal development. Momentum builds naturally as your confidence grows, and your life begins to reflect intentionality, clarity, and purpose. Confronting fear and overcoming resistance is an act of empowerment. It allows you to reclaim your energy, focus on your priorities, and move forward with courage and determination. By releasing what no longer serves you, you open the door to growth, clarity, and a life that reflects your highest potential, free from the invisible chains that once held you back. Setting boundaries is one of the most effective ways to protect your energy and maintain focus on yourself. Boundaries are not walls meant to isolate you. They are guidelines that define what you will accept and tolerate in your life. They create a clear line between what supports your growth and what drains your energy, ensuring that your time, attention, and emotional resources are spent intentionally. Without boundaries, it is easy to become overwhelmed, overextended, and distracted by obligations, people, or situations that do not align with your goals or values. Establishing and maintaining boundaries is a crucial step toward personal empowerment and self-respect. Boundaries serve as a protective mechanism for your energy. Every interaction, commitment, or relationship demands energy, and not all of it is worth giving. People who are overly critical, manipulative, or dependent, situations that are chaotic or stressful, and environments that are toxic or distracting all consume mental and emotional resources. By setting boundaries, you prevent unnecessary depletion of your energy. You decide how much time and effort you are willing to invest and under what conditions, creating a framework that prioritizes your well-being. This does not mean avoiding responsibility or being unkind. It means being intentional about where and how your energy is spent. Boundaries also reinforce self-respect and self-worth. When you communicate your limits clearly, you signal to yourself and others that your time, energy, and focus are valuable. This act of self-respect strengthens your confidence and reduces the tendency to overcommit or people please. It allows you to navigate relationships and responsibilities with clarity, ensuring that your actions are aligned with your priorities and values. Over time, maintaining boundaries helps you develop a stronger sense of identity and purpose, as you are no longer constantly reacting to external pressures or expectations. Benefit of boundaries is that they reduce mental clutter and emotional stress. When you establish limits on what you will tolerate, you create mental and emotional space to focus on what truly matters. This clarity enables better decision making, enhances productivity, and fosters a sense of control over your life. You are no longer constantly pulled in multiple directions or forced to expend energy on situations that do not serve your goals. Instead, your attention is concentrated on meaningful work, personal development, and relationships that are mutually supportive and enriching. Boundaries also facilitate healthier relationships. By clearly defining what is acceptable, you allow for interactions that are based on respect, understanding, and mutual benefit. People who respect your boundaries contribute positively to your life, while those who do not reveal themselves naturally, allowing you to make conscious choices about engagement. This alignment ensures that your energy is invested in relationships that uplift and inspire, rather than drain or distract. Setting boundaries is an act of empowerment. It protects your energy, sharpens your focus, and reinforces your self-worth. By establishing limits, you create a life that reflects intentionality, purpose, and personal growth. Boundaries allow you to focus on yourself, your goals, and your well-being, ensuring that your energy is invested in what truly matters and that your life moves forward with clarity, momentum, and strength. Letting go creates space for growth, opportunity, and alignment with your highest potential. When you hold on to people, situations, or patterns that no longer serve you, you occupy energy, time, and mental space that could be better invested in your personal development and meaningful pursuits. Growth cannot happen in a crowded, cluttered environment filled with distractions, negative influences, or emotional baggage. By consciously letting go, you create the conditions necessary for progress, clarity, and fulfillment, allowing your life to reflect your priorities and ambitions more accurately. Growth requires freedom, and freedom begins with release. Many people resist letting go because they fear loss of relationships, stability, validation, or familiarity. However, the reality is that clinging to what is no longer beneficial only limits your potential. When you release what does not align with your goals or values, you free yourself to explore new experiences, develop new skills, and deepen relationships that are mutually supportive and enriching. This space becomes fertile ground for transformation, enabling you to focus on what matters most without the weight of unnecessary attachments. Letting go also accelerates clarity and focus. When your mental and emotional energy is divided between maintaining old patterns or obligations and pursuing your personal goals, progress slows. Energy spent trying to fix situations that are beyond your control, people who are not receptive, or habits that no longer serve you is energy lost. By releasing these attachments, you concentrate your focus on your personal growth, career, health, and meaningful goals. This concentrated energy builds momentum, enhances productivity, and produces tangible results, making personal growth both sustainable and effective. Critical aspect of letting go is emotional resilience. Releasing attachments does not mean ignoring your feelings or suppressing experiences. It means choosing not to allow external factors to control your internal state. Emotional freedom comes from understanding that your well-being and growth are not dependent on others' actions or approval. This mindset strengthens self-awareness, self-confidence, and the ability to navigate life with intentionality rather than reaction. The more you practice letting go, the more resilient you become in facing challenges, setbacks, or changes that inevitably occur in life. Letting go also allows for the natural alignment of your life with your goals and values. People, opportunities, and experiences that are meant to be part of your journey naturally gravitate toward you when you release what no longer serves you. Conversely, those that are misaligned become less influential or simply fall away. This process ensures that your energy is spent where it creates the most impact, fostering relationships, experiences, and achievements that resonate with your authentic self. Letting go is a practice of intentional living. It is about creating space for growth, reclaiming energy, and aligning your life with your priorities and highest potential. By releasing what no longer serves you, you clear the path for clarity, focus, and meaningful progress. This conscious act empowers you to move forward with purpose, cultivate resilience, and embrace opportunities that support your personal and professional development. Letting go is not just about loss. It is about gaining the freedom, energy, and space needed to create a life that truly reflects who you are and who you are becoming. Focusing on yourself builds momentum and resilience in ways that are transformative for your personal and professional life. When you dedicate your energy to your own growth, development, and well-being, every effort compounds over time, creating a powerful forward motion that propels you toward your goals. Momentum is not the result of occasional bursts of effort or fleeting motivation. It comes from consistent, intentional focus and the disciplined use of your energy. By prioritizing yourself and letting go of distractions, attachments, and influences that drain you, you create a life in which energy flows toward meaningful outcomes rather than being scattered on unproductive endeavors. Momentum begins with clarity. When you are clear about your goals, values, and priorities, your energy is naturally directed toward what matters most. Scattered attention and divided focus dilute your energy, slowing progress and creating frustration. On the other hand, focused energy produces results more efficiently and effectively. Every action you take, every habit you cultivate, and every choice you make becomes aligned with your objectives, generating a chain reaction that strengthens your discipline, confidence, and motivation. The momentum that comes from consistent focus becomes self-reinforcing. Progress builds upon progress, creating a cycle of achievement that is difficult to break. Resilience is another key benefit of focusing on yourself. Life is unpredictable, and challenges, setbacks, and external pressures are inevitable. When your energy is concentrated on your personal growth and your well-being, you develop the capacity to navigate difficulties without being derailed. Focusing on yourself allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Your mental clarity, emotional stability, and decision-making abilities improve, enabling you to face obstacles with confidence and composure. Each act of self-focus reinforces your inner strength, making you less susceptible to the negative influences of others or the chaos of external circumstances. Focusing on yourself also reinforces discipline. When you consistently prioritize personal development, health, mindset, and skills, you cultivate habits that produce compounding results. Discipline is not about rigid routines or self-denial. It is about consistently choosing actions that align with your goals and investing your energy in what produces lasting value. This discipline amplifies momentum, ensuring that your energy is always being used efficiently, creating results that extend beyond the immediate moment. Prioritizing yourself enhances your capacity to influence your environment positively. As your focus, energy, and clarity increase, you naturally attract opportunities, relationships, and experiences that are aligned with your growth. Your presence becomes purposeful, and your actions inspire others while reinforcing your own progress. By investing in yourself first, you establish a foundation from which you can contribute effectively to the world around you without depleting your own energy. Focusing on yourself builds a life of intentionality, resilience, and momentum. It ensures that your energy is directed toward meaningful goals, your decisions are aligned with your values, and your habits create compounding growth. By prioritizing yourself, you reclaim control over your life, amplify your capacity for achievement, and create the conditions necessary for sustained success. This intentional focus transforms energy into results, challenges into growth, and potential into reality, empowering you to become the person you aspire to be and to live the life you truly deserve. Remember this, your energy is yours, and it is the most powerful resource you have. Every relationship, every obligation, and every distraction takes a piece of it. When you focus on yourself and let go of what no longer serves you, you reclaim that energy, your clarity, and your power to create the life you truly want. Letting go is not about being unkind or abandoning responsibility. It is about valuing yourself enough to prioritize your growth, your goals, and your well-being. The people, situations, and patterns that are meant for your life will naturally align when your energy is focused. Those that drain or hold you back will fade away, leaving space for momentum, opportunity, and fulfillment. Focusing on yourself builds resilience, confidence, and unstoppable momentum. Each choice to prioritize your energy compounds over time, strengthening your mindset, sharpening your focus, and empowering you to move forward without distraction. You are not just surviving, you are creating a life that reflects your highest potential, free from what weighs you down. So make the choice today, focus on yourself, protect your energy, and let go of what no longer serves you. Your growth, your clarity, and your future depend on it. Every step you take toward yourself is a step toward a life of freedom, purpose, and unstoppable momentum.